Hey everybody, IronObie, and I'm back here again, and it's been not too long, but you know, you're 5 to 9 on a Monday through a Friday, but I'm back here to talk about a DLC that launched last Thursday when this video is coming out. Sea of Thieves, which is a game I was keen about when it was coming out, and I heard about it, and then it came out, and it was sort of lackluster, not a lot going on in the game. And then now, we have had the Forsaken Shores update. It's been about 6 months since the main game has launched, and we've had little sub-events like skeleton ships and cannonballs that were cursed, and they could do things to ships. But this is our big update that had a new landmass, a new outpost, I believe it's 15 new islands with a bunch of new commendations, and various trepidations on the island. So, explosions, cannonball-like explosions from volcanoes, the ground heats up, the water heats up. There's skeletons on the island, there's geysers that throw you up in the air and damage you. So, Forsaken Shores, it's free update, so keep that in mind when I'm talking about this, that this is also a free thing. But my opinion about Forsaken Shores is mixed. At one point I was having a very good time, but then, you know, as we kept playing and playing, I just realized what it was, at least for me. Again, you get your ships, you get your buddies, you go to a new place called the Devil's Roar, you can go to the new outpost. There's not really a story, it's a very loose interpretation, at least of the story. Now, Rare has said that there is going to be kind of not an evolution, there's not an evolution, but there will be a thing that new that happens, you know, moving every week. We'll get something new, something will change in the world, or something will move forward, like a story or whatnot. So what does this mean? Well, this essentially means that what you'll be doing is you'll be going to the Devil's Roar, this really difficult, hardcore area, and you will be essentially doing the same things that you've been doing for 6 months, which could already be frustrating in my opinion, but now the ground's on fire, the volcanoes explode every 3 minutes, and your ship can be damaged quite easily, so stay really far away from the islands. But this introduces one of the new mechanics, the rowboat. And every time I'm going to talk about this, and I'm going to try not to be like mad about it, but every time I talk about one thing and like the idea, there's the negative of why this doesn't work. So the rowboats, the idea is, and I tried this last night with a couple friends, and might even be in the gameplay footage here, is that what you have to do, or what you optimally want to do, is you want to park super far away from the island so that the volcano can't reach you, and then you want to rowboat all the way back to the island, grab what you need, and then rowboat all the way back to the boat. In practice, it's fine. Problem is, it leaves your boat incredibly vulnerable to a dude who can just pass by, grab something, and then, you know, book out, and you wouldn't even know. But if the rowboat gets hit by even a single bit of volcano debris or whatever, it explodes. It's destroyed, and you can't do anything. They're not repairable. They literally act like a resource in the game. So if one blows up, rather than fixing it with wood or a board or anything like that, you have to physically go and find another one. And this could be problematic if you're going back to the boat, and, you know, it blows up and all your treasure drops off into the thing. Also, along with them not being repairable, they get damaged by just being used. The more you use the rowboat, the more it takes damage. And I noticed this because at one point I was having a very hard time steering it to get it to the back of the boat. And what ended up happening is that I was like turning around, I was like, I can't get in here. What is the issue? And then I'm like, why is the boat all damaged? What happened? What did I hit? And I didn't hit anything. And then I remembered that my friends had just, on a goof run, had gotten in a small, you know, rowboat and just like, let's just go. And they went as far out as possible into the ocean, and then eventually it sank on them, and they had no idea. So I came to the conclusion that, like, oh my god, the rowboats literally just degrade over time, and there's no way to fix or repair them. So last night, literally, we got to the shore, and our rowboat was a little damaged, and one of my guys was like, oh, there's another rowboat. So we just took the new rowboat and left the old one. So it's a very weird implementation. I don't know. The rowboats are interesting. They're a little wonky to pilot because of the way the system works with the triggers on your controller, if you're doing this on controller. I don't know what it's like on PC. I imagine you must use the mouse clickers to be a little bit more, you know, a little bit more difficult. But it's such a weirdly unpopular decision. I like the rowboats, but they're so fragile that it was almost better instances to just steamroll up the island as close as possible, jump out of the boat really quickly, and then really quickly get to the island, dig it all up, and get back to the boat. Rowboat was fun, but its utility is meh, and if it could be repaired and fixed and upgraded a little bit, I think it could actually be a very, very interesting piece of tech that we could use in the open world. Oh, okay, so again, mission structure. Mission structure is basically, if you've been doing it for 6 months, you'll basically be doing it again. This was something I was a little disappointed by, because one of the major selling points for Sea of Thieves, Forsaken Shores, was that one of the most unpopular revenues of money and rep and game progression was the Merchants Alliance, which required that you went to each island to find either a pig, a snake, or a chicken, and you had to find the right kind of animal. So you had to make sure you go to the right island. If the island didn't have the right kind of animal, you had to leave. But then if it did, you had to find the right kind of. It was not fun. It was generally agreed by the Sea of Thieves community that the Merchants Alliance was very boring, and no one liked doing it, and no one likes doing the skulls because the combat is so wonky and half-assed that it doesn't really help that much. It doesn't help to use the combat because fighting skeletons isn't very interesting or engaging. So everyone just did treasure chests because that's easy. Get a chest, go to an island, dig it up, put it on the back of a boat, sell it, done. Super easy. You don't have to deal with a lot of stuff. But the Smuggler's Run, which was one of the new hook lines in the Sea of Thieves Forsaken Shores for the Merchants Alliance, was a complete reworked Merchants Alliance, isn't going to be in the game until week 3 of Forsaken Shores having been out. So, that's about the middle of October. So for the first 2 weeks of the Forsaken Shores getting out, because week 2 is not listed on their website, is anything happening? Just letting that be known. For the first 2 weeks of this DLC, you'll effectively be doing what you've already been doing, but now everything is ramped up to 11. Everything's more difficult. Nothing's deeper, and the mechanics for the game haven't gotten deeper, which means they've given you the danger and access to this danger, but they've not really given you a super great way to counter it. And if they do give you a way to counter it, it's immediately, countered itself. So, a good example. Okay, people, I'll see it in the comment section, and I'll probably see it, I've seen it on Reddit and forums, it's like, well, they give you the exact tool to get away from the volcano. They give you the rowboat. It's like, okay, so you park offshore, your rowboat there, your rowboat gets hit, it's destroyed. Your tool has now been destroyed. There's no way to fix your tool to counter the options, you're just screwed. So that's what I'm talking about. It's like they put that in, and Rare's taken the same approach to the Forsaken Shores update that they did with the bomb skeletons and the barrel skeletons. And if you're a dedicated Sea of Thieves player, you know that the barrel skeletons are very unpopular. They came in, they were almost like the big first event, I think, that kind of really showed up in Sea of Thieves proper. And for a week and a half, 2 weeks, people were like, okay, this is whatever. This was fun for a little while, but they're really annoying now. Rare, could you please remove them? And I do remember Rare putting out a, Sea of Thieves dev update, or, tavern update, where they talked about, we've heard the concerns, we've heard that, the bomb skeletons are really annoying, and you guys want us to remove them. But we aren't going to do that, because we feel that the bomb skeletons bring a challenge to the game that just isn't there right now. But that doesn't make them. They're not challenging. They're just annoying. They're not like it's not like they're difficult to deal with. You just run away from them and shoot them with a gun. But it doesn't. See, that's not them improved. The combat's not being improved. They've just put in a very difficult thing that either makes basically the combat useless because you just run from the skeletons. You're just like, oh, all right, bye. Or you try to like shoot the skeleton. It's not great. It's not a great system. They went for our system is so shallow. Let's just make it more difficult to do it. So here's some bomb skeletons that randomly show up and explode and have a huge blast radius. Same thing with Forsaken Shores. Rather than making, at least in the beginning, it seems like, until week 3 when the new Merchants Alliance quest comes out, the Smuggler's Run, they've just made, here's a very difficult area, but the gameplay for that area and all of Sea of Thieves hasn't gotten deeper. So what would have done? Well, maybe I would do like armor plating. Maybe you can do some armor plating on the interior or the exterior of the ship that will shield the boat a little bit from lava or, you know, just random hits from volcanoes that can be reapplied. It's a new resource. A little bit more, again, you're still going out and you're still doing the same shit you've been already doing, but now there's something to deal with. There's something to deal with the new zone, giving it a little bit of depth. And then maybe this transitions over into being able to help with taking cannon shots. Like, that's where you start. You start with some simple methods, and then you go from there. But unfortunately, it seems like Rare has, again, chosen the difficulty path, rather than going for a sort of depth to its game. Rather than improving the combat system, they added bomb skeletons that will run at you that will make you run away from combat. Rather than improving the overworld mechanics, like instead of going to islands, maybe adding story quests and little interesting things, they've added a brand new area that is incredibly dangerous, that it's really difficult, where you'll be doing the same things you've already been doing for 6 months in the normal area. So where do I review Forsaken Shores? Forsaken Shores, where do I review Forsaken Shores? Well, Forsaken Shores for me is very much a big disappointment, especially with Smuggler's Runs not being into the game until week 3. That's a real bummer. That's one of the bigger things I was looking forward to. I even had a crewmate who was like, I can't wait to do this, and we were frustratingly looking. We're like, where are they? There's no Merchants Alliance on the main island. What's going on? Where is she? And then I ended up looking on the website, and it was like, week 3, Smuggler's Runs. And I was like, okay, so the biggest new gameplay loop from Rare for Sea of Thieves isn't even going to be in the game for another 3 weeks. Okay, well, I guess I'll be back in 3 weeks, but by the time that 3 weeks comes up, there are some headliner games coming out a few days after and before, and sometimes maybe even on that date. For Honor Marching Fire is a big new update I'm looking forward to. Red Dead Redemption 2, literally towards the end of the month. So I was really looking forward to Smuggler's Run, and not being able to critique that is frustrating, but I have to do this review. I feel like this has to be information that I have to get out there. I can't wait for Smuggler's Run to let you know how Smuggler's Run is. I might do an alternate, you know, it's like a little side 2-minute, 3-minute thing, like, here's how Smuggler Runs work, what do I think about it? But I just don't have the patience and time to wait for that. So my official score, I think, for Sea of Thieves Forsaken, I'm trying not to be too harsh here. It's probably like a 6 out of 10. If I'm being really honest, I feel like, again, nothing on the gameplay has been improved. We're still doing the same things we've been doing for 6 months, but now everything is really difficult. And the base game in the regular areas itself could already be difficult, with Megalodon showing up. The barrel skeletons making Order of Souls really boring to do, and that's why I don't do it. I just do the treasure chests, which why my Order of Souls and my merchants are significantly lower than my gold hoarders. It's a free update, so you have to keep that in mind, that it is just free. But it's free in that we just got new land masses, and I don't know that it's significant enough for me to continually keep playing the game. I will probably, you know, peek in for a minute when Smuggler's Runs come back in, or if Week 2 has an event, but right now we're not scheduled for a Week 2 event. I really, really see the potential in Sea of Thieves, but Rare really has to start, I think, looking at some of their systems and fixing it. They have to, I know it's not optimal and it would take a lot of time, but they have to improve combat in some way. They can't just keep putting a band-aid of difficulty on it and saying, oh, well, it's fixed for now. We'll deal with it in a year and a half. It's like, no, you need to focus on your combat system, because your combat system is shallow and uninteresting. Just literally put in some way to parry or something. Get rid of the barrel skeletons. Make that combat difficult. And maybe make Order of Souls more interesting, rather than just beating up skeleton hordes. Maybe make them up mysteries. Make them fun and interesting, rather than making the islands, you know, really tiny and explode half the time. Make us want to explore them. Don't make us literally do where one of the accommodations is reach every island. So one point in the game, I was literally just getting out of the boat, running to the island I needed, stepping on it, and running right back to the boat and then leaving. Don't make that the loop for your content, please. But yeah, it's going to be a solid 6 out of 10 here, guys. I'm just very underwhelmed. Depending on Smuggler's Run comes in, I may update this to eventually maybe be a 7, or, you know, if that gets better, if they improve it in the next couple of weeks. But 6 out of 10 for me, guys. Anyway, I've been IronObie, guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more reviews like this. I will be reviewing a lot of upcoming content, especially with Broketober basically here. It's going to be games, and I am going to have another Red Dead Redemption video either out a little bit after today when Sea of Thieves update this thing comes out, or it's going to be tomorrow. But subscribe to the channel, give me a like, let me know what you think about Forsaken Shores, because after playing about 4 or 5 days of it, I've come to the conclusion I think it's not bad, but it's nothing different. It's nothing new enough that I feel like it's worth, like, I'm not gonna go to the new area once I've done all the commendations. I'm probably just gonna stick over in the chill zone, where it's not where the difficult game is not again even more difficult. Try finding skeletons when there's a volcano exploding on you. But anyway, guys, I've been IronObie. Thanks for watching. Sea of Thieves, Forsaken Shores review. Bye.